Hello, welcome to the People Profit Podcast, the show where we flip the script on traditional business thinking and prove that when you put people first, profits follow. I'm Sandra Coker, your guide on this journey to more engaged teams, loyal customers, and a healthier bottom line. These episodes are brought to you by Human Power Solutions, helping organizations unlock the human potential that powers performance. Whether you're a leader, an HR pro, or a curious change maker, buckle up. We're diving into fresh stories, real-world strategies, and a few laughs along the way. Ready to turn your workplace into a profit-powered people machine? Let's get started. Welcome to the People Profit Podcast, where we explore how investing in people grows resilience and lasting impact. I'm your host, Sandra Coker. Today's guest has an incredible journey of leadership, transition, and reinvention. Mauricio Chaparro is the founder and CEO of MetaStream Evolution Club. He's an entrepreneur, family business consultant, coach, and mentor who's worked across Latin America, Europe, and the United States. He's guided leaders and businesses through transition, resilience, and transformation, drawing on both professional expertise and deeply personal experience. Mauricio, I am so excited to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, Sandra, I'm so excited to be here with you. I'm super excited to be here with you, Sandra, today. This is a great opportunity, and I'm glad that we had the chance to be here on your podcast and talk to you.
I am so excited. Yeah, we met at our mastermind that we both belong to. You and I have known each other about a year. It's almost a year now, I think. Have had some really great conversations, and this podcast has been a long time in the making. So I'm super excited about it.
Yeah,
so I want
me
to start.
too.
Yeah. So I want to start off with you today. Reading your bio, all the things that you gave to us for your background and all that, and one of the things that really struck me is you were the president of your kindergarten class. So leadership, you said, has followed you from the early stages on. Yet you've often tried to run from it. What do you think made you resist stepping into leadership roles early on?
Yes. Well, I love that question because when I was putting together some of the things that I've experienced through leadership, I remember I did when I did my master's degree application for Family Business Global Executive MBA. They asked me about different real leadership roles and so on, and I reflected on that, and I wrote that I'm a pioneer. I'm always at the first. Different things that there's a launch or there's a new thing coming. I'm always there. But there was another paper on leadership that when I was reflecting on it, I was escaping from it. I was running away from leadership roles. But it has been chasing me all the time. And, sometimes I lean into it. Sometimes I'm like, kind of, hey, I don't want to be a leader.
Yeah.
And definitely those things, you can definitely do both. And it's a matter of choice. And you can definitely also look it proactively and be more intentional about your leadership role. That's another choice too.
I love that. So it's funny, this weekend I get together a bunch of high school friends, and several of us have been friends since kindergarten. So when I read this in your bio, I was like, oh my God, we were just talking about our kindergarten class and how cool it was. 50 years later, for me anyway.
It was a question of the kindergarten, and it's like that gave me like a footprint. It's like, hey, you're a leader. You don't deny it. Don't run away from it.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you were appointed as concertino of the alumni orchestra. So stepping from the back into the front. How did that moment shape your understanding of leadership?
That's great. This is another great story. I studied on a musical school in Caracas, Venezuela, where that's where I was born and raised. And after we graduated from high school, a few years later, alumni orchestra started. And the first chair, it's called the concertino. But this orchestra was funded by younger generations than me, like maybe 5, 7 years younger at least. I
Yeah.
was already doing a master's degree and in Venezuela, and they were calling us. We made a fusion of these two orchestras, the one from the school and the one for the university. And they appointed me as a concertina. I said, "Hey, I know I'm, the senior among you guys, but definitely this is your place, and just be." I was honored by it. And but I denied a leadership role. I didn't want to take much responsibility. I didn't want to take to be as committed there. I was more on a hobby kind of thing because
Yeah.
I'm a musician and I play violin, but I wasn't doing it as regularly. So I thought these guys are younger, they're fresher with this, they're gonna have more time. So let me step back of this, and I elegantly tell them I can be the second chair. So I'm there. I'm gonna use my leadership skills, but it's like I wasn't ready for the stage. That's something that has happened to me in different
Yeah.
places in music as well. While I was singing on the salsa orchestra, they were asking me, hey, entertain the people and do this and that. I was like a little bit shy. So has been leadership for me has been a development process, part of my personal development. I was hiding, and I'm more and more comfortable being that in the spotlight.
Do you think a lot of young leaders have the same kind of fear or, resistance to kind of take on the role?
I think that's very natural. It's very human. Fear is an emotion we experience very often,
Yeah.
and sometimes we forget that fear is there to call us to do something,
Mm.
to cross the line,
Yeah.
to step up, and to go through that thing that might be difficult. But once you do it and you're on the other side, you feel, more reassurance, and you build up your confidence. It's a process. So those fearful moments, we all have them. It's a matter of decision. Will you embrace it, or will you run
Mhm.
away as I did in the past?
I love that. I read a post from Brandy from our mastermind. It was just one of those things like be with the people that are you're like-minded, right? The people that are going to kind of push you over that fear. And I think we're really fortunate to belong to the particular group that we do because there's a lot of pushing and people are making strides. So I think, encouraging other
Yes.
people to get into a peer group. Yeah.
Yes, and that's what we coaches and mentors do. I had this client recently, and he was invited to a very important event, and he knew he had the skills to do it, but he was, hey, like didn't feel in deserving. Again, we all have this. We call it imposter syndrome nowadays, but it's fear again.
Yeah.
And we had this session, this incredible session when I took him to find resources within him, and he found courage. And when he
Mm.
found that courage, he made that decision that day. But as a coach, I could have, like push him very hard. And in my experience, Sandra, what I've learned is that everything that comes from the outside is not as powerful as it is when it comes from the inside. So my role as a coach was there to offer him different perspectives, to allow him to lead the process,
Yep.
and to let him decide, because that's not my decision, it's his decision.
Yep.
And when he leaned into that, of course, I was super happy because I'm helping him building his business, and
Yep.
I know that's gonna bring a lot of new customers and new opportunities for his business. But if I forced him, if I pushed him, um, I've learned that, the hard way. We can push, but there's a limit to it.
Right.
Then people they might be just uh, you know not not embracing that. They're running away from that, and it's not the same. It's not the same. I see it in my daughters. I have two daughters, and I see it. I see them. they have been invited to different things, both academically and the
Mhm.
musicianship and sportsmanship. And if I try to impose something on them, they
Right.
might be.
Like,
I'm a rebellion. So when
yeah.
someone tells me what to do, I'm gonna do the contrary. So I think
Right.
that's great for leaders to be mindful of that with your teams. So you know how to encourage them and know how to push them, yes, but allow them to have the space so they take ownership and they are
Mm.
the ones moving forward.
I love that. I love that. So in that vein, on that same vein, talk to me about a little bit about your family business that you had a role in. You were CEO of that business. So talk a little bit about what that business was, and and then talk about, what was your decision to leave. How how hard was the decision to leave that role to give your family a future away from Venezuela?
Yes, yes, I will tell you about that. But before, I'm going to share because stories repeat and we have patterns and we have different
Mhm.
moments that things change a little bit. So first, I was doing this internship in my family business, and I had the need of going out there and see something else. So I managed a way to talk to my father and look for a project, a consultancy project, to go into another company and learn from that experience. So that was one, let's say, act one.
Yeah.
Then another act is picture this 2012. We just finished our 25th anniversary celebration. Everyone's super happy. And a few months later, this was in September, and then in April, we had a visit of the government authorities, and they were closing our business. Both the two sites we had in Caracas, they closed it with no reason for political reasons, because my father's beliefs was against what the government was standing for. And I remind you, for the benefit of the audience, that in Venezuela we have a very tough government, dictatorship for the last uh, perhaps 15, 20 years, depending on where you want to put the timeline on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But the point is that my father left the country. We didn't know what was going to happen to him. And I had always been in the back office. My role was putting the setup together to help him be the security consultant he is, to to be the so he could be the artist I was putting behind the scenes, all the systems in place and so on.
Yep.
And then he left one day, and I
Oh,
was
wow.
like, okay, what do I do? So it was a life, um, a business threatening, life threatening for the business. It was life threatening. And
Mhm.
then I had to decide where we close this and we leave this here, or do I stand up and step up and take this legacy and continue it? And it was very challenging. A couple
Yeah.
of weeks, very very challenging without my father coming back, and he was on the front. So I had to change my focus, to switch into being on the front side and facing clients and employees. We have almost 300 employees at the time, security
Wow.
guards and
Yeah.
different kind of people. So I had to go one side by side, facing both clients and employees, looking, telling them the solution we had come up. I'm telling them, everything's gonna be okay. We're just navigating this tough time, but we're going through the other side. And this is where I was, called to be a leader. I love the hero's journey. If anyone can, you can Google. There's a great video in TED about the hero's journey. I share that with my clients all the time, because we as entrepreneurs, we always have this, and as everyone has it. We go through different challenges and we walk
Yeah.
out once and again through that. So, but to the point, I was called, and the first reaction, which is natural, is denying that. No, hey, no, I don't deserve this. I'm not good enough. I'm not capable. This is not for me. But I gave it second thought. It's like, hey, am I gonna leave this legacy behind? I'm gonna
Mhm.
leave this
Yeah.
company to go, you know, close. So I step up. And I did it. So we saved the company with the whole team. It was a teamwork, of course, always it's a team in everything we do. And then a few years later, 2014, my family was, the political conditions were becoming more difficult. And
Yeah.
we had to decide, hey, we will stay in this country or we will leave. So I had to decide for my own family instead of
Mhm.
my family of origin and the business. So this is another story, something else that happened. When we went to Switzerland, and I was, after being CEO and the president of the entrepreneurship council for the American Venezuelan Chamber of Commerce and so on, I
Yeah.
had to, hey, I'm going to change diapers. I'm going to do the grocery shopping. I'm going to be here for my daughters. And it was a big, big shift. And, but I
Mm.
can tell you, very humbling and very, I developed another skill set that has allowed me to become the person I am today.
Wow. That's a great, I mean, it's an incredible story. So, when you think about you left your country, like your country, your family of origin, leaving all of that, right? So, what lessons did you carry forward from leading in that very difficult environment that still guide you today?
Yes, I'm gonna tell you about that, but I just remember that there's another chapter to it. I think it's worth sharing, and it's that my father and my mother, they were like, "Hey, this is getting complicated." This was like 3 years ago. I was developing my coaching practice, and I had once more to decide whether I keep on developing my coaching and my consultancy practice for doing what I did with my family for other families,
Hmm.
or do I go back and step in the business once again to reinvent it?
Yep.
And it was almost bankrupt. So I said, again, this is a call. I'm not going to leave this legacy here. I can reinvent it. And we came up with different new business units, and we made a new team and everything. A big shift on that. And it's a new phase. And we all leaders, particularly the ones in the family business, the next generation, we are called to change and reinvent our family business. So
Hmm.
that's what I did. And what I carry with me is, yes, the resilience.
Yep.
And it's funny because nowadays the uncertainty is very high out there in many more developed countries. I was born there. That's
Right.
second nature for me. So and I did even my thesis for my first master's degree in my MBA was particularly on strategy for uncertain environments. So I studied that very deeply. So I know how to deal with that. And there are a few models that are very interesting that we use to see that. And through the security firm, it's just a family firm, we do a lot of business continuity management and
Yep.
contingency planning and so on. So that's something else that I do. And all of this, by the way, I share in my masterclass. I have a masterclass on strategic planning.
Yep.
I'm doing one in the coming week. So if anyone's interested, you can do masterclass at metastream.club, and you will find the information there.
Nice. Well, definitely get that in the link below for sure. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's uncertainty. It's something that people in the more developed countries are not used to it. And it's really about seeing which variables are the key ones, which ones are gonna change, which ones are
Hmm.
gonna most likely stay. So you develop some scenarios, and you bring the planning closer, and you review it more frequently. It's
Love it.
counterintuitive because when there's more turmoil, more uncertainty, some people say, let's not plan because we don't know what's going to happen. No, 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 no. We have to double the planning because
Yep.
we need to review the variables more often. We need to be more mindful of which variables are critical and monitor them. And this very interesting model where you see if there's a life-threatening risk or if there's a golden opportunity. So you
Hmm.
look at both things, and you have to build up your resources. So as a leader, you're called up to see the situation and assess what's the real thing. You don't have to see it worse than it is. You have to see it as it is, and even see it better as it is. I'm paraphrasing Tony Robbins here. He uses a lot
Yes.
this model, which I love, because you definitely, we need a promising future. We need something to look forward to, and this is human. We have the hope. We need the hope to live. This is something we have to, um,
Yeah.
to have something to look for. And then when we design that, when we picture that in the mind of the people, then they will they will follow. And by the way, Sandra, I think this is very important for any leader. For us to be a leader, we need to learn to follow. We need to
Mm.
learn some patterns, and we need to
Yep.
learn to do some things. And then for sure we can test that in different uh, um, uh, environments, and then we can take it to other environments once we master it. So I encourage any of you who are perhaps aspiring in a leadership role, or you are already in a leadership role. I encourage it for my clients all the time. Look for in which areas can you exercise this new skill that you want to develop, which is a more control space
Yep.
where your risk is controlled. And if you screw it up, it doesn't it won't give you, it won't have as much as impact.
Yep.
Again, I'm coming from the security business. I'm coming from risk management perspective. So I'm
Yep.
integrating all of this. This is what I do. I integrate knowledge. This is what
Yeah.
I love to do. So the coaching, the risk management, the family business dynamics, and the business strategy. I'm combining all of this, helping my clients to get to their next level.
And that's what I love, is there are so many coaches out there, and you hear like, I coach, I coach, I coach. You hear it all the time. But when it comes to coaches, they all, pretty much everyone just comes at it from a different lens. And that's why I feel like, you've got to interview who you're going to coach with, or who you're going to bring on, because not everyone is the same. And one of the things that I really want you to talk about, is your leadership philosophy. And it all starts with personal leadership, right? Reconnecting with yourself. What does that practice look like in your daily life?
I love this question, Sandra, because I told you we need to learn to follow. But the trap there is so we can get stuck in only following, and we can start living our life the way the outside world is dictating. What I mean by that, because people might, even with a good intention, be um, kind of conditioning ourselves. Society, history, economics, politics, different things. We live in an environment, we live in society, and there are different things that are even we're not aware of them. Most of our thoughts are not ours, are someone else's.
Right.
Are unconscious. Are they're coming from ancestral? They're coming from the culture, from many places, and we don't take the moment to breathe and say, hey,
Right.
is this mine? Who's this thought? Is this really me? So reconnecting with myself. This is something part of my personal journey. And I love reading. I love doing courses. I love gathering information from different sources to compare them and so on. But I was really paralyzed
Mm,
because I was looking for answers outside
that's it. Yep.
all the
Yep.
time.
Mhm.
I even wrote a short story in Spanish about this because when we are looking for the answers already outside, always outside, we missed what we really want. So if we
Mm,
don't reconnect with ourselves and we don't take a pause and say, hey, what is it that you really want?
mhm.
What's your goal? That's why
Right.
my venture is called Meta Stream. It's a river of goals. We all have heard if you don't have your clear goals, how can you achieve them? And my thought was, hey, how do I put my goal if I don't know what I want? So my journey has been to reconnect with myself, to be able to establish which are my goals. Sometimes I put very high goals that I might not be able to achieve. And I love that because I push yourself. Sometimes smaller goals give us momentum. So I tend to mix both of them in different things and different stages, depending on the topic. and on the client. So we might one approach might be appropriate for one moment, and the other approach might be the appropriate for another moment. But the point is that all the answers we have them within us.
Mm.
So we just need to look at them. We just need to be more self-aware, and the more we reconnect with ourselves and pause. And that's why I love meditating, but some people can do it in different ways. Journaling, or you pick up the mindfulness activity you like, you pick up the self-knowledge activity that you like. The point is that you can really understand who you are, and what motivates you, what really drives you. Once that's clear, things start to, the pieces start to come together, and we
Yeah.
are more aligned. And when we are more aligned, we go faster. We lose less resources. It's more productive. So that's the journey of empower to transform. As I empower myself, as I transform myself, as I reconnect with myself, and I get to know what I really want, then I'm shifting everything around me, because I believe in systemic approaches. The more we are aligned with ourselves, the more we can influence ourselves and transform the world around us, with starting from family, spouse, children, co-workers, uh, ventures, clients, and that becomes a spiral. It has a domino effect. It has a ripple
Yeah.
effect that will affect everyone around you.
It's interesting because, one of the things, the empower to transform. And, I love that phrase. I think it's a really important phrase, and helping others to see what they may not see in themselves. But
That's
I
my
also,
methodology, my coaching methodology.
yeah, I love that. But also, I think it's also, you also mentioned something like sometimes we live other people's dreams, or we're in their scripts, right? How do you help, or how do you talk to people like, you know, trust yourself, right? Take it from inside of yourself, and not. So how do you coach that from people
This
that
is something
might
to
be a little afraid?
This is something to experience, Sandra. I can explain you so much how to swim.
Hmm.
Until you get on the pool, you don't know what I'm talking about. It's the same with family constellation or systemic constellation. It's an
Yep.
experiential journey. I can explain you a lot of theories about it, some more scientific, some more esoteric. We can talk about that for hours, but
Right.
until you experience it, you won't know it. It's the same as parenting or bicycling. There are certain things, can I say this?
Yeah.
Like sex. It's like you have a fantasy, an idea of
Yeah.
what it is. Until you experience it yourself, you will have your own version, your
Yeah.
own experience, and you will be able to, have a say on that. So how do you coach that? You coach it through stories, you coach it, you go into the unconscious,
Mhm.
you use examples, you put them to in different challenges that they will start to experience how to connect. You tap into the intuition. I had a session with a client that he was looking for the right answers, and I want to be right, and I want to, and this is,
Mm.
my journey. Hey, if you're waiting for the outside answer to it's because I love theory and I love studying.
Yep.
But any theoretical model, any framework is just a simplification of reality.
Hmm.
So these models are awesome. They're great. They help us. But we as humans, we simplify reality, which is a lot more complex. And this is true also in family business, in every disciplines, really. But the point is that when we simplify things and we start trying to get into that environment that will allow you to test different things, to have your own experience, then you will exercise your agency power, and you will exercise, your consciously level go up, and then
Hmm.
you will be building up your self-confidence, and you will be able to build it step by step. And then you will be able to be more open to test different things. because you will also recognize the experience you have had in the past. We all
Yeah.
have had experiences in the past where we can see something new that we never thought it was possible. I never thought it was possible to speak 5 languages.
Yep.
How on earth? But I dreamed it one day. I dreamed it one day. I was in university and I was seeing this guy. Hey, he studied in France. He speaks all these languages. And I was like, I want to be like him one day. And that was 25 years ago. Nowadays, I can say I can speak 5 languages. I still remember some of my Hungarian. And I studied in this French university doing my second MBA in family business. So that's something I could never dream of doing while I was in my home country. And when we were invited to, you know, do a career outside of the country, I was very hurt. I didn't want to leave home. But
Mm.
now I'm giving my kids the best education possible, and I'm giving them opportunities. They know the world, and we can definitely have more options and see what we want and what we decide with a broader perspective. And that's what we coaches do. And that's what family business leaders need, because there's a script in the family business as if you were going to repeat the same, but we're called to reinvent it.
Yeah.
And because business environment it's changing so much so rapidly, even more so now with AI, we
Right.
are called to adapt. We're called to reinvent, and the concept of destructive creation from Schumpeter, that we need to, destroy what we're doing to build a new thing. And it's again, it's counterintuitive, but it's what we need to do in order to trail, to make the new trail, to make a new path.
Yep.
Of course, we are standing on the shoulders of giants. There's people who have done so many things before us, and we can take those resources, including those from the previous generations in a family business, and we can build on that. One role is entrepreneur who founds the business. Another role is the one that organizes and directs and put the
Yep.
systems and so on. That was me. But in the legacy, the biggest legacy of any family business, it's its spiritual entrepreneurial spirit, and that is within you, and it's in everyone. It's not just in family business; it's on every leader. We all have this entrepreneurial spirit. We just some of us have developed it more, and some of us have been avoiding it. But we
Yep.
can use it. We can find examples of this everywhere in our lives.
Running a business is hard. Developing your people shouldn't be. At Human Power Solutions, we act as your outsourced chief learning officer, designing custom learning and development experiences that actually move the needle. No fluff, no cookie cutter workshops, just results. Whether your people need better communication, stronger leadership, or less burnout, we provide strategic solutions that align with your goals and keep your team moving forward. Visit hpowersolutions.com and unlock your team's full potential without disrupting operations.
What do you think it means for someone who doesn't see themselves as an entrepreneur? They want to go in and they want to do their work, but they don't want to have that. They don't understand what having the entrepreneurial spirit means inside of a company.
We all are entrepreneurs. We all have these skills. We all have started something. Um, and it's very important in the corporate world to be intrapreneurial. Actually, many corporations are learning from startups and from other environments like that because they need to invent as well, because they also need to evolve, and the environment is calling us to evolve.
Yeah.
So we do have that in mind. And I bet you, if you're listening to us, I bet you have maybe try travel to a new place, maybe try a new kind of food that you never thought you were gonna try, maybe
Mhm.
try a different sport, maybe went out with someone you never thought you could go out with someone like that. You are an entrepreneur, I can tell you. And the more you exercise it, the more you put yourself in those situations, the more you develop that skill.
I love that. And I love how you related it to not only business, but also to personal. My husband is someone I never would have imagined marrying because he's so different from anyone that I ever would have. And he's like, I'm so happy I did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's what is familiar to us is what we tend to lean into.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
there's something outside there. And I can tell you, living in 4 countries in the last 10, 15 years,
Mhm.
I can tell you, it's like I am taking different elements from different cultures. And
Yeah.
while I was traveling for my global executive MBA, to Singapore, I always wanted to go to Asia. When I went to
Yeah.
Asia, I was like surprised. But at the same time, I saw the patterns of human, family business challenges are the same because
Hmm.
they're human challenges. The same thing. Of course, there's cultural differences, there are
Yeah.
environmental, the economic and political environment is different, but we can see the commonalities there and we can spot those things and
Yeah.
grow there. So whenever we try different situations, we are empowering ourselves to open up our eyes and to see from different perspectives. And this is a growth mindset. And when we
Yeah.
embrace this growth mindset, we can be more resilient and we are more prepared to face whatever challenge will bring us because we can take a reactive approach and stay always the same. But
Yeah.
let me tell you, my friend, life is going to challenge you. So, do you
Yes.
want to wait for those big things or do
Yeah.
you want to take a proactive approach and challenge yourself to growth and to go after what you feel called or after what you love?
I This is really good. All this stuff is gold. And I love the fact that you can go to different countries and we're in the people business, right? So people come to me often, they're like, well, have you done professional development in this industry and this industry? I'm like, we're in the people business. It's not that hard, right? I mean, it is. And each situation is different, each company is different. But fundamentally, we're all human beings and we love
Yes.
our families. We want to provide for them, like
Yes.
all of fundamentally, I feel like we're very similar.
Yes, I get what you mean. And there's a saying in family business consulting, which is once you have know a family business, you have know a family business.
Right. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because all are different, but at the
Yeah.
same time, yes, there are patterns, there are commonalities, there's similar challenges. What changes is the context. That's why, to Joseph Campbell's work, the hero of 1,000 faces, he studied different tribes around the globe, and he saw,
Mhm.
the monomyths, which is those challenges that we humans are going through, and they have different stages, different names, different
Mhm.
circumstances, different elements, but it's the same pattern. We are called to growth.
Yeah.
Either we do it proactively or we do it reactively. And sometimes you're being proactively, and there's a change in the environment, and the,
Yeah.
the change is not it's not going to slow down. It's going to pick up the pace. And again, AI, just take AI.
Mhm.
We can we can see from the sidewalks and we can try to experiment it.
Yeah.
And I have an analogy that might not resonate with everyone, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm a musician, so reggaeton, which is a Latin music, like very urban, very
Mhm.
simple, very you want to repeat it. It's not the best music, from the aesthetic standpoint. So
Right.
you can do two things. You can resist it and deny it, or you can start dancing it because anyway, you're going to go to a disco or a place where people is dancing and everyone's going to dance that. And you will say, no, I don't dance that. So you're going to miss out on the party. Or you
Mm.
can step in and enjoy the different things, maybe the rhythm, maybe the lyrics are not so constructive, but still, it's like,
Yeah.
if you have lemon, you make lemonades. Of
Right.
course, you will try to make the best lemonade possible, and you will try to make it in your own way. but let's use what's there. That's part of being resourceful, and
Yeah.
that's a key element to leadership.
So let's talk a little bit about the era of hybrid work. So the world has really changed since 2020, right? So the hybrid work, we have shifting employee expectations, constant disruption, constant change. What do you see as the biggest blind spot leaders have right now when it comes to, leading their organizations?
I think we all know it, but we don't talk about it. We are
Mhm.
human beings again. So we have
Yeah.
families, we have hobbies, we have friends, and we need to acknowledge that since we are all of that, we definitely are going to do all of those human activities. So it's
Mhm.
not anymore the cold place that we pretend that we are in a certain way. It's become more human, and
Yeah.
I think people it's seen more through the human eyes, and we are. I think that's great. We're humanizing ourselves, even though there are a lot of things that can like dehumanize us. So it's
Yeah.
again, I think it's a choice. It's a matter of consciousness, and we can level up our consciousness level and be mindful of that, and look for ways to where your team is more productive. So I'm talking about times, I'm talking about places, I'm talking about environments, I'm talking
Mhm.
about kind of meetings. Some people are great in meetings. I love meetings, but some people are better working by themselves.
Yeah.
So we need to have both, and we need to see: are you good with numbers? Are you good with you or with data? Or
Mhm.
with information? Are you good with people? Or are you good with things? I think I love that framework because you can decide what kind of career you can
Yeah.
have, and
Yeah.
you as leader, you can observe, okay, so let me know my team. Is this person better with information, with things, or with people? So
Right.
I can take advantage of their strength and see if there's a development opportunity that they need to, because depending on the thing you're doing, they need to have certain
Yeah.
criteria. So you're gonna use that for recruiting. I think that's critical,
Yeah.
critical, um, because who's better, who's best? Is it the lion or is it the polar bear?
Right.
It's just a different
Right.
environment.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. It's funny, season 1, we
And
had Jenny Reyes on, and she works with Patrick Lencioni's Working Genius. And that really is, we've been implementing that throughout our clients right now because we've got clients who have really, really great employees who are just not doing what they should be doing. So they're just in the
exactly.
wrong place, right? So how do you
And whose
empower
mistake
people?
was it?
Yeah, the hiring,
Whose
right?
mistake was it? Most oftentimes, and I can tell you as a leader,
Yeah,
I I did the wrong decision. It was a bad recruitment decision, selection
yeah,
process.
yeah.
So
Or the right,
let's
or the
move
right
the resources.
or the right culture fit, just not the right position, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Ex-
So how can leaders
Exactly.
create an environment people are often afraid to look bad, right? When you said you were avoiding, becoming a leader because you weren't really sure, how do the leaders help to empower people like to become leaders, knowing that they can trust that mistakes are going to happen, right? I think so many people are perfectionists and they just want everything to be perfect, but the way to perfection is making mistakes along the way. How do we help leaders empower
I'm,
people to do that?
I'm guilty. I'm a recovering perfectionist. Uh, I've done it, and that's why I was paralyzed, because I was looking for the right answer, for the only thing. I think when we study, the ones that study business, we go through mathematics and different things, and we see optimization. So we have to
Mhm.
maximize the profit, maximize the I'm forgetting the word in English, but you have to minimize costs.
Yep.
That's theoretical again. So it's more human to have something in the middle. And the more I mature as a leader, the more opportunities I give my team to make
Okay.
mistakes, and the
Yep.
more okay I am with that. But that's a cultural shift. That's a mindset shift.
Hmm.
and it has to go to the culture. And you know well this, Sandra, culture is one of the most difficult things to change in a
Yeah.
company,
Yeah.
because it's down there in the iceberg. You can
Yeah.
see other things, and this one you don't see them, you
Yeah.
don't see it as much, and it's
Yep.
human behavior. And every company, it's alike its founder. The same every team, it's alike its leader. The same every dog, it's aligned its owner. So we give energy to them in
Right.
different ways, consciously or unconsciously. We are imprinting that. We give them like a blueprint. So the more open we are ourselves as a leader, the more
Hmm.
open we will be to others making mistakes. And we go first. Let's make the mistakes.
Yeah.
Let's be vulnerable. Let's create a culture of mistakes. And this is something else that corporate is learning a lot from startups.
Yeah.
And they venture capitals, they have like, we're betting on these 100 companies or these 50 companies, and
Yep.
they know maybe one, two, five at the most will go great. Yeah, but those one or two will go super, super good. So
Mm.
how do you do that? It's a matter of it's the scientific method actually. You are
Yeah.
testing. You're making a lab. The same that nowadays digital marketing. You're putting an ad out there and you're seeing how it's performed, and you tweak it, you change it, it's the same thing. It's test, 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 and test. It's the same for our team. It's the same for ourselves. It's the same for parenting.
Yeah.
We have
Yes.
to
Yes, it is.
change.
And
We
grandparenting
learn
on my
through
end.
we learn through
Yeah.
doing. It's a learning
Yeah.
process through life, and
So,
we need to give. Let me finish with it. We need
yeah.
to give enough challenge so people struggle a little bit. We don't have to be fearful of struggles. We need
Right.
frustration as human beings to grow. If we don't put them a big challenge and they don't struggle, that it's too easy,
Hmm.
then there's no flavor to it. There's no you don't feel yourself accomplished. So that's part of the role of you as a leader. What's the right amount of challenge for this team member or for this project? So let's aim high and let's have them allow them to have the frustration, because we live in a
Yeah.
society with everything is so quick and easy that we forget that
Right.
real life is not like that. Let's
Yeah.
go out to nature. Let's play an instrument. Let's play sports, and you will remember, pushing up. It's what it's kind of develop your muscle, or
Yeah.
practicing your shots, or playing your instrument. That is gonna build you the emotional and physical muscle for when struggle comes, and you will be able to go through that and get to the other side.
Yeah. I mean, it's how you build that resilience muscle for sure. Yeah. And so when you talk about like leaders having deep self-awareness, especially in family businesses, right? You need to have deep self-awareness and emotional intelligence. I find that emotional intelligence is really hard to come by these days. Like people are stuck so far behind the computer screens that they just know how to read people anymore or how to regulate their own emotions because they can hide keyboard warriors, right? How do you help leaders develop the EQ and that really self-awareness, like how did I contribute to this problem, right? Instead of the blame game, right? What's your thought on that?
Yeah. Again, I think everything starts with us as an individual, and
Mhm.
from us we take it to the environment, to the other people. But yes, um, it's testing.
Mhm.
It's trying. It's creating the challenge. It's creating and we it's self-awareness. We can read the room, even a virtual room. We have to feel it. We have to sense it.
Mhm.
Um, and we do that through experience, and we do that by making mistakes. So let's be humble enough and bold enough to dare to take the read that we think we there is,
Yeah.
and be humble enough to say, hey, I missed that one. I This is what I thought it was happening, and I made a mistake. But also, let's not assume. Let's validate. Let's ask. Let's have
Mhm.
conversation. Let's communicate. Let's open up the channels because some people are afraid to say what they think. This is
Right.
very true in corporate, and it's also in entrepreneurship and in family business. It's part of the culture. Who will dare to defy the culture
Yeah.
again? So if we, as leaders, we show up first and we dare to go against what we said before and be
Yeah.
humble enough to say, hey, I made this mistake, or this was what helped us in the past, but now the environment has changed, or now the
Mm.
conditions have changed, or now my belief is different. Any of you out there listening to us, haven't you ever had a thing that you believed that it was actually true, that you really believed it was true, and then a few months, years, or decades later, you say, hey, how come I believed that?
Yeah.
What kind of person could believe that? And it's a journey. It's a journey. So let's embrace that and let's do it proactively.
I love that. So I want to go back a little bit to we're talking about transition, that human side of leadership. So your transition from moving from CEO to stay-at-home dad, what did that season, I know it was difficult, but what did it teach you about identity and leadership?
Oh my God. I love it. I love it because this was really an identity shift for me.
Yeah.
So, from CEO to saying at the beginning, I didn't feel that I was adding value. And it was
Mm,
related to what did I value? So, my beliefs and my values were being productive, making money, um,
yeah.
being busy. Being busy, I was, addicted to being busy. I didn't know what to do with free time. So
Yeah.
I had a bunch of friends in Switzerland when we were living there, and they were playing tennis or they were going ski. And I was like, how come I do that? My wife is in the corporate world. She's she's working so much. How can I dare to go and have a coffee or have a beer or I it was like I couldn't allow myself. So I didn't feel deserving of that. So it
Yeah.
was a big mental shift. Again, I put myself in another environment where the rules changed. And then I questioned everything because their things were different. So I
Right.
had the chance to do that. And I, I had the opportunity to, to observe more,
Okay. Yeah.
to, this is another story. When I arrived to Hungary, it was, way back 2019, 1996. I spoke like 50 words of Hungarian, and I was in a Hungarian family there, and I was like, they didn't speak English, I didn't speak Hungarian.
God.
How am I gonna make this work? So I developed the capacity of observing and
Mm,
seeing more the context,
yeah.
not the word, not the specific. So the context was giving me all the hints, and it's true for leadership. It's true for different environments. We have all the hints. So let's listen to what's not said. Let's listen
Hmm.
to what the body posture or the context, the message behind the obvious.
The words.
So
Yeah.
also that, yeah, that was what prepared me best to live in this new experience. So I tap into my own experience to go there and see, hey, I'm changing my values here. I have to now. I understand why people go to the gym because they also the best the best shaped I am physically and mentally and emotionally, the best self I'm gonna be in every other environment. So
Yeah.
let's put ourselves first and let's be a little bit selfish, to be selfless, so to be able to it's again this analogy of put the oxygen mask first to
Yep.
you. When
Right.
you have it on, you will be the best mom, the best dad, the best grandparent. That's what we need to do. Go
Hmm.
back and work on ourselves and go back and review the things that we are trying to avoid, because busyness, it's avoiding to see the things that we need to see. And we go to what's familiar, and it's, let's say, comfortable, even
Yeah.
though it might be uncomfortable still, but we're
Right.
avoiding to go into that place where the work is, what we're called to see. And the body is also giving us a lot of hints. The body will give you, uh,
Oh, yeah.
maybe a pain, maybe a symptom. So
Yep.
go and research what's behind that emotionally and
Mm.
spiritually, and become a leader of yourself. So lead yourself up and become that what you embrace, that what you want to be, and let's be, and that will allow us to have more and do more.
I love that. So when you think about the next 5 years, what excites you the most about the evolution of leadership and entrepreneurship? What are you seeing?
Right. I see that the level of consciousness is going up. So people
Mhm.
are we have so much information available that is up to us to put it in practice. All this what I'm saying, most of these things you already know them. Or if you didn't, you will Google them and you will
Right.
get you know, AI, ChatGPT, whatever it is, you will find tons of things. So let's focus on practicing it. Let's focus on
Mhm.
doing it. Let's focus on learning it physically and to embody that. So
Yeah.
I'm really optimistic because we will lose less time in more repetitive tasks, and we will need to level up our human because we will be being surrounded by machines and digital environment all the time, that we will be needing to go more into nature, to unite more with other human beings. That's what happened during COVID as well. We were um, craving to have
Right.
human touch. So we
Yep.
will have more. We will be more compassionate with ourselves and with
Yeah.
others because we are going through all of this. So the the better the technology advances and the more it evolves, that it's gonna invite us to level up our human side. So we can definitely do tap tap into what we on the best part of us. Or if you get into the worst part of you, then learn from that and do
Right.
something out of it.
Yeah. So
Because
thinking about your
we're all gonna do it anyway.
we are. We're gonna do what we're gonna do, right?
Yeah, let's make those mistakes and embrace them, and let's keep moving forward.
I love that. So when you think about the legacy of your work with MetaStream Evolution Club, where do you hope that legacy lands with leaders and entrepreneurs that you mentor?
Great, Sandra. What I'm doing, it's I recently started doing groups of entrepreneurs, and I'm starting a group soon for family business leaders. Perhaps at the end of October. I'm deciding on the dates, but it will be at the end of October. And what I love collective intelligence. I found the meta stream because I know we as leaders, we feel alone many times we're by ourselves. And the higher you go on the leadership ladder, on the organizational ladder, chances are you feel more alone. So I
Mm.
created this group, this mastermind, to be surrounded with people that have been having experiences similar to yours, who had answers that you're looking for, or who have questions of things that you already went through. So we're gonna collaborate with each other. And this is the magic of MetaStream. It's Evolution Club because it helps us go and evolve. And we do this collectively through MetaHub, which is a networking place, a place of meeting, a place of being together. And it's
Mhm.
a mastermind. And it's an accountability group. It's a board of directors.
I
It's
love it.
it's your ancient council
Mhm. Yeah.
the tribal thing. We all come from there, so we kind of can use this very old idea and well, Napoleon Hill with mastermind and so on. We can use these concepts to empower also each other to tap into other people's wisdom and experiences and and accelerate the process. So whenever we are like we both of us, we're in this on the same mastermind,
Yeah.
we are tapping into the collective intelligence. So
Yeah.
the collaborative phase where when we grow all together, and we kind of pull people who might be falling behind on a specific topic, because I believe, Sandra, that we all have something to give and something to share.
Hmm.
And you might know more than me about certain topic, but I definitely can have another experience. And so anyone who's listening to us, you you guys are for sure more knowledgeable and more experienced than me in any other thing, or in
Yep.
or than Sandra in many other things. So we can learn from each other, and we can definitely unite forces and use the collective wisdom to advance faster, because the human, we progress when we divided the work and when we started organizing ourselves in different groups
Yep.
and in different ways. So this is this is very social thing that we can progress. We are social animals, we are humans, and that's something that really differentiates us from other mammals,
Yeah.
other
Other
animals,
species. Yeah. 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 For
other
sure.
species. Thank you. So this is something that we can tap into and
Mhm.
keep evolving other sides of our brain, of our experience, and help each other, because we all love helping people. So this space, it's also giving the opportunity for people to help others. And when I help another person, guess what?
Yeah.
I become more self-secure on what I'm doing.
Mhm.
I feel better myself. An act of kindness is going to be observed by other people, and they will be feel better. So we are going to be more grateful and more kind. And yeah, we're going to work through the challenges and the things that can go wrong, and
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
difficulties. And we're going to cry with each other. We're going to desperately think that there's no solution, and we will go through it, and we will get to our next level.
Absolutely. Oh, Mauricio, thank you so much. This was just an open and inspiring conversation. Your journey reminds everyone that leadership is not just a title, right? It's about choosing to step forward again and again, whatever happens in your life. So, for listeners who want to connect with you, where can they connect with you?
Well, I think the easiest to say here is my Instagram account is at Mauro Chaparro. That's Miuricio, and my last name Chaparro, Chaparro, at Mauro Chaparro. That's easy to do in Instagram. And yeah, if you get into my bio, you can sign up for my newsletter. You can see the activities that I'm doing. I'm also active on LinkedIn, so you can look for me, Mauricio Chaparro Vegas, in LinkedIn. And yeah, I will be happy to share with you if there's any questions, if there's any comments, if there's something you like or you didn't like from this. I would love to hear back from you, because that's the only way we can improve. We're open to critique, and it's it's a way to growth and to
Yes.
see the different perspectives. We don't have to agree on anything and everything. We don't have to agree in most things. You don't have to agree with me. I don't have to agree with you, but we can definitely have a conversation, and let's work conflicts out, because not the absence of conflict. This is something very typical also in family business, or people try to avoid conflict. Many people try to avoid conflict, and there's a healthy level of conflict.
Yeah.
The thing is, when we take
Absolutely.
them to the extreme, either avoiding it, or either being to conflict all the time, on conflict on mode all the time, that is when it gets less functional. So let's find let's find a middle ground. There's a theory about this. It's the Goldilocks theory, that you have the right amount of conflict for different things.
I love that. We'll make sure that all of your links are linked in the comment below, so we'll have all your links there. And everyone listening, thank you.
It's not mine. It's not mine, but I love it.
And to everyone listening, thank you for being a part of the People Profit podcast community. If this episode gave you new insights, please subscribe, share it with your network, and leave us a review. It helps more leaders find these conversations. Until next time, keep leading with courage, humanity, and purpose. Thanks so much, everyone. That's a wrap on this episode of the People Profit podcast. If you found a nugget of wisdom or even just a spark of inspiration, share the love, subscribe, leave us a review, and pass the episode along to a colleague who's ready to build a people-first culture. Big thanks to our sponsor, Human Power Solutions, for championing workplace where humans thrive and profits rise. Want to learn how they can energize your team? Head over to hpowersolutions.com to get started. I'm Sandra Coker, reminding you that when you invest in people, you invest in profit. See you next time.